You're living in the Matrix. You don't have Bitcoin, you cannot buy your way out of the Matrix. And until you understand that you need to buy your way out of the Matrix with Bitcoin, you don't understand the Matrix, and you don't understand Bitcoin. Your entire world is defined by a bunch of synthetic metrics. The CPI might come in as this, and the PPI might be that. But of course, we use the market basket of synthetic crap you don't want to buy. That's the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix. Tickets to escape the Matrix are priced in Bitcoin. Tickets to escape the Matrix are priced in Bitcoin. The employment rate is 2% or 3%, even though half of you don't have a job, and the ones that have a job aren't making as much as they were making, and everything costs 50% more, but the nominal GDP looks like that. That's the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix.
Yes, sir. That is true. And I got the guns out because they were requested. Had a great vacation. Very happy to be back. So much drama on my way back. Let's get to it. So, Elon and Trump throwing down, bunch of noise. None of it really fucking matters, but we'll talk about it briefly on what I believe really matters out of it. James Nguyen is officially toast, incredibly bankrupt, but as he likes to say, money isn't real. So I guess being fully bankrupt and indebted by tens of millions of dollars, not a big deal. Good to know. We're learning all kinds of stuff. The big, beautiful bill we'll talk about in this post that I did yesterday, why that's still going to happen, and why, again, all of that was noise yesterday. And I don't think it was planned. I don't think saying that Trump is on the Epstein client list is planned. But yeah, I don't. But here's the thing: none of it matters, and that's the key. And then MetaPlanet. If we look here, Bitcoin's already over 104. And we've got MetaPlanet and Germany up over 15% on the day. Nice little bounce. MetaPlanet's been my savior lately. Yesterday, I think it was down like 1.5%, not even, which was pretty good because a lot of the Bitcoin miners got trounced on. Even though I do think that they're exiting consolidation. And again, Tesla butchered, down 14.3% on the day yesterday. But yeah, we got lots of good stuff. So let's talk about this little spat. We'll briefly go over this post that I did yesterday, trying to focus on the signal and not the noise. So I said, ignore the noise. The big, beautiful bill will pass in some form. It has to. Why? We can't have corporate tax rates climbing right now. It would mark the end of this country as our economy tightens and the Fed is forced to print, causing real inflation at a time the world cannot afford it. And when I say world, I mean world. If that happens here, the world is fucked. And so it will fix itself. This is just how things work. As incentives are aligned, things get better. I said on a side note, Elon is right to be mad at real Donald Trump. So again, I try not to take just one side on things. I try to look at it as its whole. And I'll try and get caught up on chat here in a second. Yes, MetaPlanet looking sick. Love it. But I said he was right. Like Elon was right to be mad. Why was he right to be mad? He gave 6 months of his fucking life and millions of dollars. I think it was $1 million a day to try and get people to register to vote for Trump. And then after he got elected, he brought technological innovations to the White House, leading Doge, helping get waste, fraud, and abuse, and optimizing their existing systems. Some of them like a century old. Retirement systems that were in caves that took forever to happen because the elevator might break and then people couldn't retire. So we should be grateful to him for that. I said, how was he repaid by Trump? Trump didn't take any of his recommendation, or didn't take his recommendation for the head of NASA, even though SpaceX puts 90% of the payload mass for the Earth into space and is literally the USA's real space program, right? Trump removed the EV tax credit. Also, more importantly, incentives for solar and batteries, which is ridiculous since he said he was pro all forms of energy, but instead is picking winners. And sadly, he's picking the wrong choice. Elon keeps saying this, but we don't need to build a ton of nuclear reactors. We don't need to pump oil out till the end of time until it's gone. We do for plastics and shit, but we have this giant nuclear reactor in the sky that's been there quite a bit of time. More reliable than any other, more reliable than Fukushima, okay? More reliable than Chernobyl. And it gives us energy every day. And Elon said, over 90% of Earth's energy will eventually come from the sun. And I agree with that. I think that's true. So I don't like Trump picking winners. The big, beautiful bill was an insult to Elon Musk and to Doge. Trump lied about Elon being aware of the bill. The House didn't even give their normal 72 hours for people to be able to read the bill. They just fucking crammed it through. And Trump said that Elon got kickbacks, even though Trump commented previously in a video saying that Elon never asked for anything, which was amazing to him because everybody always asks for something. Now, enough of my Trump bashing. Let's talk about what Trump has done in his presidency and why I believe there's more good than bad. I said he prevented Kamala Harris from turning this country into a communist shithole. That seems to be good. He closed the border, which is awesome. He's cracking down on crime. He's working to ensure free speech on platforms like X. He's removing funding of woke ideology that was perpetuated throughout our society, paid for by the federal government, not just in this country, but everywhere, evidently on Earth. He's working to fight financial corruption from states like California with their high-speed rail contract to nowhere that's been going on for over a decade, and that's cost billions and billions of dollars of extra money. He supported the implementation of Doge. He's pushing pro-growth policies with lower corporate tax rates and no tax on Social Security overtime tips, among other incentives, of which there are many. Implementing tariffs as a weapon to reduce trade barriers. It looks like that's really the ultimate goal, not just revenue, and I think that would be good. If it's about revenue, then yes, there are some risks of a recession. I said, so what's the signal in all this craziness? So again, I think Trump should actually be respected by Elon too, because there are good things happening in this administration. You can't just point out the bad. But like they say, all marketing is good marketing, I guess. I don't think this was planned. I think it's two alpha males fighting with each other. We're going to listen to FS Insight, my boy Tom Lee, talking about this a little bit, and some of the outcomes of what happened yesterday in regard to Google searches, which I think you'll find enlightening and kind of funny. So I said, I think that Elon has, so what's the signal? I said, I think Elon set up the foundation for a third party. If Trump fails to deliver on his promises in the years ahead, because in reality, there are a ton of disenfranchised people on the left and right just pissed about how shitty our government has really become. I said, but outside of that, it's probably business as usual. And if you're afraid of the world going to fall apart, own some Bitcoin. Because the only reason markets and BTC fell yesterday was because people thought the bill was going to die on the vine. And in the great words of Lynn Alden, there is no stopping this train. Or more simply put, this bill will pass because it has to. There is no alternative. And when incentives are aligned, things happen. I said, so freak out if you want to. But I think this noise will die down and markets will continue higher because liquidity has no choice right now. The global Ponzi must be fed. And I believe this is very true. I believe it's 99% accurate for what happened yesterday. And also, I think Elon talked about impeaching Donald Trump and then putting J.D. Vance as the president. J.D. Vance said, slow news day. What are we even talking about? He's hanging out with Theo Von. Theo Von looks thin. Kind of healthy, too. Really white teeth. I mean, even the mullet looks nicer. So I think he's doing pretty good. It's good to see. So anyway, I think that there was a lot of noise yesterday. I think there was a lot of noise yesterday, and you can justify it whatever you want. You can say that this was a thing that they planned. I think that's stupid. I know Cern Basher and my buddy Joe Bakhti, I think some of the Tesla guys were talking about that yesterday, even though Alexander Mers was, I think, the one who was the most right, as usual, Tesla Boomer Mama, saying that this is just two alpha males fighting it out. A bunch of gorillas, chimpanzees, boxing it out with each other. And on that note, let's listen real quickly. And good morning, chat. Good morning to all you guys. Rune, thank you for joining and becoming a member. Alona Isis, Jesse, I think Trump and Musk is what was all noise. It's the only way that Trump could look good by putting back the credit on EV cars. You'll see. Yeah, I don't think any of that's true. I'd be pleasantly surprised to find out that that's true, that this was just a planned thing that was meant to happen. But I don't think it's true. I think it's just two dudes who are very used to getting their way, pissed at each other, and angry that the other isn't more grateful of them in some way, with more of that being Elon Musk doing a JD Vance moment of, have you even said thank you? Which he deserves, right? He deserves it. Elon works very hard, and when he dedicates his life towards something, he deserves the respect. And but again, Trump is doing good things, I think, all in all. I think that's the gist of what you have to see taking from this. And if he doesn't do good things, and if this bill is a fucking disaster, own Bitcoin and get ready to vote for a third party. That's the gist. JDeck88, too much dirt was dropped for this to be a setup. I agree. It's just, yeah, you don't say things like that. You don't talk about impeaching somebody. You don't. Shelly, thank you for joining and becoming a member. Appreciate you. Sean says Elon just wants to go back to pre-2019 spending, and Trump doesn't have it, his back on it. Yeah, I agree. But I kind of get, again, I see truth on all sides, and I don't know with 100% accuracy what the reality will be. It's hard to know that, right? All we can do is just look at probabilities. I do think there's a major argument to be made, like the Scott Bessent argument, that we should focus more on growth right now instead of debt elimination, and then focus on debt elimination when the growth is sustainable. Right now, markets look very weak. Jobs data, not good. Lots of data, not looking good. So I kind of find truth on all of these. Oh, Saylor's going to be on CNBC. I think we're going to have to pull that up. Let me refresh this. Do you know what time? Saylor is coming on? I see other people talking right now on CNBC, talking about Tesla. So that's fun. And again, so real quickly here, I want to go, we're probably not going to, I'm still getting caught up on bookmarks with everything. So we're probably not going to get too crazy down the bookmark trail. But I do want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about Tesla's price action and what I think is happening, and then also that of Bitcoin. So I did this post this morning for subs only. I said Tesla stock appears to be in full bounce mode after flushing out yesterday. Again, at one point, I think we were down almost 18% yesterday alone. It would have sucked to be in TSLL during that time. Luckily, I am not. I have a very light position, guys, on Tesla right now, because I was selling my Tesla shares. Again, I removed TSLL a while ago, and I was selling my Tesla shares because I didn't think they'd be as asymmetric as something like MetaPlanet, which, if we look at MetaPlanet today, it's up almost 16%, and it's getting ready to just fucking skyrocket. So I'm very excited about that. I don't know what I have right now in regard to MetaPlanet. I should probably look. I have probably almost 1.75 million, I think, in MetaPlanet right now. So it's pretty good. Yesterday I was up 51% on MetaPlanet, but it's up another 16, 17% today, probably 20 in the US. So yeah, I think that's going to go really well. Yeah. Oh, you sold out of Tesla, TSLL too. That's a good thing. I am Grok. It's a good thing. Yeah, because that would have been painful, but I do think Tesla's going to bounce quick, and let's talk about that. So I said, and I probably don't need the words above, I'll just look at it on the image. So I said, hey, we bounced hard. We bounced off of peak volumes. If you look over here, the volume's going all the way back to 2020 almost. Yeah, 2020 actually. We bounced off that peak volume. Really, I mean, it started up here, right? Like it started in the 300 range, and then we had the flush out with the Epstein file thing, and that just flushed us down hard. We bounced really good. On the monthly time frame, guys, the volumes look ridiculous. So it's a good solid bounce. And then now we're above the first red fib line and pre-market with Tesla. And I think that's only going to go higher. We're currently almost at 298. We're almost up 5% on the day in pre-market already. It's a really easy trip back to the 320 range where we have this volume, gap right over here. And then we'll normally, I would say we'll see resistance at this 346, the next fib line. But what's interesting here is it's a shelf. If you look closely, you'll see how the volume is like non-existent. And then there's a massive shelf. So I would actually say that once we get above that, it's off to the races. So I'm feeling pretty good about Tesla. Did I buy a bunch? No. I was driving down the road going 100, losing parts of my car. So I was a little busy yesterday. And plus, I just don't think it's as an asymmetric bet as Bitcoin. I do want to buy a lot of Tesla. I'm okay if I hope. Here's my personal preference, guys, and my bias. I hope Elon and I hope Elon says a bunch of stupid shit on X, angers a bunch of shareholders, and washes them all out. Because let's get rid of the weak hands. Let's get rid of the stupid people. I saw Peru, and I don't want to shit on Peru too much, but this is just the most emotional bitch-ass response. Is that my way of not shitting on him too much? I guess. I guess. But what did he say over here? Let me find his post about Tesla. Maybe he's already gotten rid of it. I don't know. Let me see here. He said something about selling all of it. If you knew this all along, why were you quiet? Yeah, so he just had very, I don't know, reactionary, emotional responses to this, basically insinuating that Elon knew that that Trump was on the Epstein files all along. For this reason, we've sold all of our Tesla shares and will not invest in his companies again. This is the most stupid fucking shit I have seen in a while. And sorry for my French. But Peru, you're investing like a little bitch. I say this with the utmost respect. I actually do think you could be insightful. But what kind of shit is this? He just literally showed something like with pictures with Epstein and Trump. It doesn't actually mean any of it's real, albeit maybe it could be. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's pure noise. What kind of real investor has this kind of response? And the funny part is the almost 3,000 likes and 500,000 views. People are fucking sheep. Most people are sheep. They love the noise. They love it. They love the TMZ, right? They love the just the garbage responses for things. But today, this bitch ass probably sold down 17% on the day, and today it's up almost 5%, hitting $300. So, I mean, you guys do what you want to do, right? You guys can follow people like Peru, who seems to be way too emotional, or you can follow people that try and extract the signal from all the noise. It's up to you guys. Martin, bro, nice to get you back. Have any strategies for mining as time melting the options? Yeah, no, the options are getting melted pretty good. I actually don't think they're that bad, though. Let me real quickly. We'll get to Bitcoin. Oh, this is ugly. Too much shit going on here. But let's just look at CleanSpark, okay? Where are we at with CleanSpark? Well, this is peak volume going back since the beginning of time with the company, before they were even a Bitcoin miner. And if you look at pre-market, we're actually above this peak volume line. And we've established a beautiful base here of consolidation. I would argue that miners are getting ready to take off. I mean, we've been grinding right at the 200 weekly moving average. This is the marker of a bull and a bear market, and we were under it, and it was rough. But I would argue that this is a beautiful thing, and that we're getting ready to take off. And so I think the options on miners have never looked more attractive. I think we're going to be going up a lot. Can you talk about SMLR next? Yes, I can. What was the massive announcement, Bug Eye? What was that? Yeah, let's pull up SMLR. Actually, let's look at. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's look at this Bitcoin post, and then we'll jump back and look at some of these others. Let's do that. Little Wayne, what the fuck? I don't even want to know what that is. All right, let's go back here. Let me know what the massive news was. Speaker Johnson on now. Is it the tax bill? Is there massive news about the tax bill? Let's see what's going on here. We'll check it out real quick. Ooh, whatever that was, that hurt my ear. 1 second here. What up, Jesse? Missed you a lot. I'm in alt. Yeah, so I don't talk about ALTBG, right? This European treasury. I don't talk about it much because I can't invest in it. If I could, I probably would, but I can't, so I don't. But I do think that cap is really low. I think it's a preview of what I believe will happen with Saylor. And so I think it's actually going to return really good. It might even do better than MetaPlanet because of its sheer size. Let's real quickly though listen to this. Macro Polo said Galileo from Hyperchange. Oh, Gally, yeah. Sold some of the Tesla yesterday in a panic. Gally's kind of woke. I love Gally though. He's such an OG, but yeah, he's younger, man. I don't know. I wouldn't have sold. I wouldn't have sold for that noise. I get it if somebody did, though. Yesterday was probably peak chaos. One can hope. But yeah, I feel bad for him. That was the wrong move, Gally. Sorry, bro. I really like you.
President Trump.
All right, let's listen here. Let's see what Mike Johnson has to say about his big, beautiful, ugly fucking bill.
Publicly feuding with Elon Musk over the White House's big bill. NBC News reporting that there are no.
Also, real quickly, Martin says, you know why I'm a little bit concerned about them? He's talking about miners. A lot of shorts are waiting while the mining capacity is increasing. Like Mara, even it has more BTC compared to others. There is nothing to be worried about with that. It's actually incredibly exciting. If you think about this, if I'm right, guys, and instead of being like at 78 at the end of Q4 for Q1 results with Bitcoin price action, if instead we're at 120 or 140, or even where we are now, you're going to see much better financial statements coming out of these miners this next quarter because difficulty just hasn't increased that much over that same period of time. So I think you're going to see much better results out of the miner. They're just going to be a short burst. And I don't know if I'm going to even invest in miners next cycle, honestly, but I do think that I'm going to still make a lot of money off my calls that I have right now. But let's jump real quickly. Jeff, thank you. I'm happy to be back, my friend. I'm sorry, Meta's raising $5 billion. Dude, Meta, holy shit, MetaPlanet. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. We're going to get back to Mike Johnson. There's just a lot going on, okay? Let me go over here real quickly. I do want to talk about something real quickly. So their game plan. This is Simon. This is the CEO. Is Simon a Harvard grad? Applied math at Harvard. He was a professional derivatives trader. And then he put Dylan LeClaire, somebody who I idolize and who personally saved me over 6 figures of losses by letting me know which exchanges were rehypothecating funds and were going to implode. He also let me know about Gemini in association with Grayscale and why that was going to get crushed and see the premium turn into a discount. And it was down to like 54% of their holdings for the NAV. He saved me a fortune. He's probably one of the reasons why I'm still rich today. And so I love these guys. I am grateful to them. I'm highly indebted to them. A $5.4 billion capital raise is fucking insane. I don't even know what to say about all this, but yeah, 555 million shares via moving strike warrants. First in Japan, issued at a premium to market, enabled by MetaPlanet's high volatility and deep liquidity, of which they're deriving income at the same fucking time. This follows a highly successful $210 million plan. Why is the $5.4 billion capital raise so important for this company right now? It's probably due to the size of the company. Let's just look real quickly. So this company is a $5.53 billion market cap. It's a $5.53 billion market cap, and they just raised 5.4. So if you guys don't realize what's happening here, they're getting ready to acquire a ton of fucking Bitcoin at a stupid low price. What is their NAV? What was their NAV before this? I don't even know. That's BTC rating. Do they even show NAV on here? I don't know. Do they show NAV on here? Where the fuck is it? Oh yeah, MNAV 6.13. So I don't know if that's diluted. I've got to look at the other one. It doesn't really matter. Here's the whole point. They're getting this stuff at a massive discount. Because of the fact that their MNAV is so high. And then they have this flywheel effect of what's going to happen. I can see a lot of locked days where they gap up and they freeze in the Japanese markets. I think that's going to happen. So MetaPlanet's looking beautiful to me, guys. It's looking beautiful to me. And we'll definitely talk about SMLR too. SMLR is actually up 3.4% in pre-market. It was down hard yesterday, 8.72%. It has not found the benefits of MetaPlanet yet. Companies like AltBG have done way better, okay? But I do think it's going to have its time. And Saylor is only a $363 million company. And even they are still issuing and being aggressive. And I think once the market gives them a little more NAV, that will only get better. These will all boats will float, guys. Get ready for the floating. Let's listen, though, real quickly to Mike Johnson, and then we'll probably jump back over to FS or Fundstrat. Let me know if you guys know when Michael Saylor will be on today.
Plans for Trump and Musk to hold a phone call today, as had been reported earlier. A White House official says Trump is not interested in a call with Musk. The Tesla CEO trained some of his social media fire yesterday on our next guest, House Speaker Mike Johnson. And Mr. Speaker, thanks so much for joining us this morning. What a day, what a 24 hours, what a year, what a life. But I don't know. We were going to talk about the bill, obviously, but can we at least touch on this and what you know? I thought you were supposed to have a conversation yesterday with Elon. Did that happen, or was it just text?
Well, we exchanged text messages yesterday. I spoke with him at length on Monday, and that's why the kind of the blow up that happened this week was very surprising, disappointing to me. We had a very friendly conversation. I really like Elon. He's a friend. I've come to truly respect his acumen. The Doge effort was heroic, patriotic, helped us find a lot of savings and abuses that Congress was not able to uncover previously. So huge contributions. And look, we can have policy differences. We have that here in this building, every day, but it's not personal. It shouldn't be personal. I don't tell my friend Elon I don't argue with him about how to build rockets, and I wish he wouldn't argue with me.
But they do ignore his advice on leadership for who's going to run the space program in the United States. And then they do give him the proverbial middle finger for his businesses after he spends a half a year of his fucking life to support this fucking country and get Trump elected and help his administration. So I'm just going to kind of give a little small fuck you to Johnson here.
About how to craft legislation and pass it. But we've had some good discussion. I thought it was helpful, fruitful, but it's just disappointing. I hope it all resolves today. Look, these are two titans. I respect them both. I'm of course a huge fan and supporter of President Trump. I was with him in the Oval Office yesterday afternoon when some of this was unfolding, and he was disappointed. I was disappointed. I just hope it resolves quickly for the sake of the country.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, one of the points that the president made early on yesterday was that Elon was intimately involved with what was in the big, beautiful bill and was well aware of it if there are shortcomings in terms of...
I've got MetaPlanet short percentage. We'll look at that in a little bit, too.
And you've had to deal with, your caucus. I don't know what's possible. I don't know what's possible in the Senate. But we're all well aware of the obstacles to getting a perfect bill. And I think Elon Musk... You must have had those conversations with him, so he was familiar with it. Suddenly, the hyperbolic language he used to describe the bill, even last week, where did that come from? And what do you attribute that to?
I really don't know. I mean, the point is well taken. We worked to craft this legislation over about 14 months. I mean, we began this in March of last year, working to craft a reconciliation package using 11 different committees in the House. They each worked in their area of jurisdiction and developed that policy over months and months of long discussion and deliberation and finding consensus on it. And so each of the committees came out with their individual pieces of the large reconciliation bill over a series of months and weeks. I mean, all this text was out in the public. Everyone knew exactly what we were talking about. There was nothing done under, late at night other than a long session to get to the final vote, and that's because the Democrats tried to stall it in the Rules Committee. So, look, everyone had plenty of time to review and digest what was in the legislation. I'm sure Elon knew what was in it as well. And look.
All right, I'm already bored by this. I'll just switch to live here. I will pull up MetaPlanet short percentage. I'm going to do that right now. We can talk about that for a second. I think this bill is going to pass. I think that's all that really matters. I don't know if it's going to pass in its existing form, and I don't know if that matters because, again, Elon set the stage for what happens next if they do a horrible job, right? He set the stage, and that will take care of itself. I strongly believe that. Let's look here real quick. So it looks like we've got short interest over time for MetaPlanet. We can see how it's been growing. Short interest percentage, reported short interest, estimated total short interest. You can see how sometimes these things are different because you have what's reported operating at a delay. And I don't totally know how they get the estimated total, but I do believe it's probably fairly accurate. So it's showing 22%. 22% short interest for MetaPlanet right now, with reported being over 10%. So I do believe that this is probably accurate, and I think it's going to be a rocket ship to the moon for us guys if we do get DN3. And I'll just pull it up in the bottom corner here. We've got it up about 13% on the day, but I do believe that number will probably improve as well as Bitcoin goes higher. And that's the German market, which usually underperforms the U.S. The U.S. just has a lot more liquidity, and it's the one I like to watch the most. I wouldn't worry about the denied call thing or any of that fucking noise, guys. I really wouldn't. So one thing I want to talk about real quickly with Trump and Elon, I think it's actually beneficial to Elon to not be so close with Trump. And I'm going to say that for a few reasons, but I'm going to show you something real quick here.
It actually brings success.
So this was actually talking about why Trump and Elon are so fucking crazy, and why that's something that's pretty normal in the United States for people to be a bunch of alpha male douchebags. And it's a really good one, and I think he's right about it. But I wanted to see, there's something else in here I wanted to show you guys. I think it was about and maybe I got to go back. Anyway, it was about, I could probably show you over here. I think I have it over here. It was about some of the Google search terms. And so people started Googling Tesla like crazy yesterday. Not Elon, but Tesla. And there were other things that happened too. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. There were other things that happened too on top of that. The term for how to remove a sticker went up parabolic yesterday. Tom Lee was joking that this might be due to the fact that that people are trying to figure out how to get rid of their "I hate Elon Musk" stickers, which crazily enough is probably true. That's probably a real thing. So, but I do agree with Tom, and I do want to play this first part because I think it was really good. It talks about why America is full of people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and why it's a good thing, based upon a book that he had read from a psychologist. Don't worry about the second half. I actually talk specifically to that, Brandon. I'll pull up a post here in a second about the recession in the second half and my thoughts on it. But real quickly, let's listen to Tom Lee in this. I think it's very prescient and very true, and I want you guys to hear it. Oh, probably with audio.
And this is our macro minute. Today was a pretty unusual day in markets because it was all about controversy around the White House's one big, beautiful bill. As you may or may not know.
Oh, economic data? In about 3.5 minutes. We should be able to get through this.
For the past few days, Elon Musk has been criticizing the sheer size and expansionary spending of that bill, warning that we would bankrupt America. And he did this with many tweets and many of his comments in the public. And of course, this led to a feud with President Trump. Now, the thing is, today, this feud escalated very quickly. Let me just give you some highlights. In the afternoon, Elon Musk again attacked the bill in terms of its sheer size. And then President Trump replied by pointing out that Elon was angry because of the EV mandate being removed. But then Elon Musk quickly shot back that this was just a lie. And President Trump then suggested that they terminate government subsidies and contracts with Elon's companies. And then Elon Musk then took it to a new level by saying it's time to drop the really big bomb. And then he says President Trump is in the Epstein files.
Again, a lot of noise, but
this, of course, caused a lot of people, including Alex Jones, to actually respond in shock.
Alex Jones, Trump, one of the most stable of all people.
Then took it back to Elon Musk. He doesn't mind him railing against him. But Elon Musk, at the end of the day, says that he's going to cancel or decommission the Dragon spacecraft. So clearly there's
which would end the U.S. space program. So I think, again, we got some balls flipping around here.
Need to de-escalate. But I think it is noteworthy that President Trump didn't escalate it further. But here's what I wanted to spend some time talking about, which is it may make you wonder, why are these two formerly allies
Here's the good part.
now in dispute with each other. I actually think that this book explains it pretty well. It's a book that I read about 15 years ago called The Hypomanic Edge, and it's the link between a little craziness and the success in America. And basically the author's point is that a little crazy is what makes America.
And by the way, this kind of feels like me in this book too. I'm definitely this guy. Some of you will probably realize that when you listen.
Great. Now, James Gartner is a psychiatrist, and he points out that energy drive, cockneyed optimism, entrepreneurial and religious zeal, Yankee ingenuity, messianism, and arrogance are American characters, okay? But he says that they overlap.
I'm never arrogant. I just want to be clear about that. I'm the most humble motherfucker around.
With the hypermanic profile. Now, hypomania is a mild form of manic depression, and
Fair.
hypomanics, he asserts, are brimming with infectious energy, confidence, and really big ideas, and anyone who slows them down just doesn't get it. So basically, hypomanics are risk takers. And I think it sounds like a lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs, politicians, and fund managers. I mean, doesn't it? Let me give you a checklist he provided of classic hypomania symptoms. He's filled with energy. Sorry for the pronouns, that's what he used. He's flooded with ideas. He's driven, restless, and unable to keep still. He channels his energy into achievements of wildly grand ambitions. He often works on little sleep. He feels brilliant, special, chosen, even destined to change the world. He can be euphoric. He can be easily irritated by minor obstacles. He's a risk taker. He overspends in both his business and personal life. He acts out sexually. He sometimes acts impulsively with poor judgment. He's fast talking. He's witty and gracious. His confidence can make him charismatic. And he's prone to make enemies, and he feels persecuted by those who don't accept their vision.
That's probably the definition of my entire life.
So does today's dispute sort of make a little more sense?
Yeah, right.
Now you might wonder, why are there so many Americans that might have this characteristic? Well, this author has a theory. He believes that immigrants are unusual people because 1 out of 100 are crazy enough to actually leave their own country. And in fact, 3 countries with the most hypomanics are America, New Zealand, and Canada, and they're all nations of immigrants. So his why is that immigrants are risk takers. And as much as it brings us some...
I think that's true. I think lately our version of it was more like criminals with a lot of them. But I do agree with this.
Craziness, it actually brings success. Now, on to this dispute. Charlie Gasparino is betting that this feud doesn't last that long, and maybe he's giving it a week. I kind of agree, especially given that President Trump didn't escalate it any further. And then there's others.
So again, I think I'm pretty much in alignment with Tom Lee. We're going to be fine. Oh yeah, let's get to our data. My bad, it just came out. That's probably why we're pumping a little bit. All right, refresh. Data points. Hey, we got almost 1,000 people here. If you guys could hit like, be greatly appreciated as a welcome back here. That's pretty good for a Friday too, so I'm very excited about that. All right, we got U.S. non-farm payrolls, 139K, higher than consensus and forecast by a decent amount. Unemployment rate 4.2%, unchanged. Average hourly earnings 3.9%, a little bit higher than the 3.7 consensus and forecast. We like that. Participation rate 0.2% lower. Not too big of a deal. That's actually been doing well. Average weekly hours 34.3, right in line. Government payrolls down slightly, but they thought that they were forecast to go down a lot. Manufacturing payrolls negative 8K. Those were actually a consensus at negative 1K and forecast of a positive 3K. So manufacturing not doing super well. Non-farm payrolls private came above consensus and with forecast. And so, and the U6 unemployment rate looks like it's in line too. We do have our boy, Rick Schmantelli, down here. Let's just see what Ricky Bobby has to say about what's going on here today. I think I'm just going to check this out for revisions.
1%, the 2 years at 394, and the 30 year.
So the bond market is climbing today. At least yields are climbing. So people are selling out of U.S. bonds. Let's listen.
At 489 this morning. It is almost time for that May jobs report. Rick Santelli is going to be covering that for us. But again, Rick, a lot of questions around this, particularly after those weaker than anticipated numbers for the ADP report that came earlier this week.
Absolutely. Now, ADP doesn't necessarily correlate highly, but it's something to pay attention to. 139,000 jobs created on non-farm payrolls for the month of May, a smidge higher than we were expecting. And in the rearview mirror, well, there are some revisions. We lose 95,000 over the last 2 months. All right, let's proceed now with the unemployment rate, which remains at 4.2%. If we look at the
All right, I'm already bored. I'm going to watch this visually down in the corner. I love Rick, but I just don't think we're going to get any screaming or purple face Rick, and that's the best version of Rick. So if we can't get that, it's not really that fun. I will look for revisions while it plays out, though, and I'll let you guys know. Yes, Bitcoin's doing good. We're over 104. That's a beautiful number. Terrible voice, this guy. Are you talking about me or Rick? It's probably Rick. It's probably Rick. Alonesis, don't forget Saylor was on. Oh, yeah. Should we do that? Let's listen to a little Schmaler, huh? Let's do that. I would rather do that, honestly. I'm going to go back. Just got to see if we can find some Saylor. Oh, there's Mike Johnson being a douche. I like him. He just seems like a douche. He seems very punchable. Am I wrong here? Am I wrong about the punchable face of Mike Johnson? You guys tell me. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this.
Raised nearly $1 billion from the IPO of preferred stock.
I am literally wearing my Michael Saylor MicroStrategy cutoff shirt today. This is great.
Pays a 10% yield. The company plans to use the proceeds for general corporate purposes, including buying more Bitcoin.
I actually think Mike Johnson's okay, but he does seem like a total fucking douchebag.
And join us now is Michael Saylor.
Why did he cheat on her?
Strategy executive chairman. You've described some of these moves, these financial moves before to us, Michael. Is this more of the same, or is there anything unique or different about this round?
You know, what's exciting here is we've done 3 IPOs of preferred stocks in the past 6 months. Strike was our first convertible preferred, and that was up 29%, while all the other preferreds were down 6%. Strife was a fixed preferred, paying 10% fixed yield at par. That's up 22% versus all the other preferreds down 4.5%. So Stride was the third of those preferreds. And what's going on here is we are offering fixed US dollar yield, and we're swapping it into BTC yield, which is what our equity investors want. The big breakthrough is that in the preferred market, the capital never comes due. There's no refinance risk. We're basically offering a perpetual US dollar yield forever. We're getting the capital forever. And so by matching a very long duration instrument on the liability side with a long duration asset, we're creating, in essence, an indestructible balance sheet. And these preferreds are a very scalable, extremely low risk way to generate leverage to drive a very large premium into the MSTR stock. So it's a win for the fixed income investors because.
I'm sorry, Strife 22%. Are you talking about? I mean, it got hit yesterday, but are you talking about today? There's no way that's happening today. Let me pull this up. I'm going to look over here and let this play in the meantime.
They're getting a yield 400 basis points more than typical preferred stocks or junk bonds would yield. And it's a big win for our equity investors because they want more Bitcoin. And this is a way to get leverage without worrying about any kind of bond coming due.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Wow. You obviously are the ultimate hodler.
Gotcha.
You would buy, if you have money, you buy Bitcoin, I think, don't you? It doesn't matter whether it's up, down, or flat.
150% Bitcoin, Joe.
Do you think at this point that there's, let me just say, what are you waiting for at this point in terms of good news? I think the regulatory environment since the election is definitely improved. We've talked about how much harder it gets to mine, and there's halving. When is the next halving, and what are the next moves that would cause the asset Bitcoin to get to some of these? I don't know whether you have Tom Lee type projections. I think Tom the other day said eventually it could get to 2.5 million per coin or higher before we never really will get to mining the last coin, will we? Not in our lifetime.
Not in our lifetime, but the last 6 months have been tremendous. All of the fundamental planets have aligned. Bitcoin's been acknowledged as the one digital commodity in the world by the administration. And the banking regulators have given a green light to bank Bitcoin. The accountants have upgraded the accounting to fair value accounting.
There's really been nothing but beauty, and yet the price has barely moved because market makers have done everything they could in order to try and make money. I got to figure out what that popping noise is. Oh, it's over here. Oh, it's a stupid hyper scan thing. Yeah, so if you guys didn't know this, James Wynn has been wiped out. Wiped out. Let's just look. What does wiped out mean? It means gone. All of it. All of it. This man had almost $100 million, and it's just gone. So this is really pretty sad, guys. Oh, he withdrew. He withdrew 706. He's probably running. He's probably running. It's all gone. He lost all of it. He lost all of it. All of it. This is what arrogance, stupidity, and a very short time horizon gives you. Okay? You should be looking at 6 months, years ahead. 6 months, like minimum, usually, minimum for what you're looking to accomplish. And you shouldn't be looking at days, hours. What did I tell you guys? I said, when this fucker is liquidated, it's time to go up. And if you look down in the corner, you see that little wick we got there. It's called the tweezer bottom. I'll show it to you real quick here. It's right down here. It's a tweezer bottom, right? So he's fucking gone. He lost everything. He got 15 minutes of fame, and now he's toast. And we're going to start going back up. Mark my fucking words. Exactly like I said, we're going to start going back up. So pour one out for James Wynn, whoever the fuck he was. Because nobody's going to remember his name, and he's never going to have what he had ever again in his life. And if that doesn't tell you, you know what he said? He's like, he lost money initially, and then he's like, what are you guys talking about? He goes, you think 100 million is life changing? Yes, I do. I think 100 million is fucking life changing. And if you already have so much money that 100 million isn't life-changing, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Who even gives a shit? But yeah, I think it's life-changing, but you need a Billy. You need to be a billionaire to be like successful. Now you have nothing. Nothing. So fuck that guy. And there were so many people that are like, oh my God, you're so ballsy and so cool because you're willing to put it all on the line. Is he? Really? Is he really? Is that really what makes somebody cool? Is that what makes them a great trader or an investor? The fact that they're willing to go all in on black and lose everything? Everything. It took that guy like 6 fucking months to turn a small amount of money into 100 million, and it's all gone. He's deep in the red now, and he'll never recover. So if that's the kind of person you want to follow, that's a different channel, okay? That's a different channel.
Been a surge of Bitcoin treasury companies. There's like 100 public companies or more that are holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and every single week there's another announcement. I think that, it used to be we're focused on the
Yeah, he literally had a donation thing on his site for people to donate money to him. That's fucking sad. That's sad. He ruined his life. I don't even know if that guy will be alive in a year. It's sad.
halvings, but at this point,
and everybody, you know what? Oh, it skipped on that. But I think he's saying a lot of the same stuff we've always heard. If you guys didn't hear his keynote at the last Bitcoin convention in Vegas, you got to listen to it, man. It's so inspiring. I watched it again yesterday. It was amazing. But yeah, so many people were saying, oh, James Wynn, guys. They were like, oh, no, you're wrong, Jesse. He's playing 4D chess. It just reminds me of what people are talking about with Trump and Elon yesterday. Oh, they're playing 4D chess. No, you know what that is? That's called a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism when things happen and you're like, let's say your parents are beating the shit out of each other and you're sitting in a corner saying, oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Everything's all right. That's a coping mechanism, okay? It doesn't mean it is going to be okay, and it doesn't mean what you believe is true. It just means this is your way of being able to be okay with it. James Wynn was an idiot. People that followed him into this trade lost everything. And Trump and Elon are not being best buddies right now. And yesterday, so that video yesterday that you're talking about where you had Joe Bakhti and Cern Basher, I love these two guys, by the way. I love them. I think they're brilliant. But I think they're sucking their thumb in a corner because they were worried about what was happening yesterday, and they want to believe that this is some kind of master fucking plan, of which it is not. It's not that. It's two alpha males fighting it out in the ring. And again, there's no benefit to Trump for what happened yesterday. His bill's going to get more scrutiny now, and it's going to be harder to pass. That in no way helps Trump. Does it help Elon a lot to have people go, oh, wait a second, did he just tear Trump apart and say that he should be impeached? That helps Elon. That helps Elon in regard to Tesla, because now all the people that give me the middle finger and do the Heil Hitlers to me, all those people are going to be like, wait, what happened? Are we on Team Elon? Am I supposed to hate these people still? I don't know what to do. I'm confused. So, and that's why we saw, Google search trends saying that people were trying to figure out how to remove stickers, and people were looking up the term Tesla, probably trying to buy one again. So it's a weird world, but this isn't deliberate. This isn't planned. You can tell yourself that, but it's not. It's not. This isn't kumbaya shit. And if it was planned, I don't see it, guys. I don't see it. And again, I don't know. My mind goes in a lot of different directions and tries to look at all views. I don't see any benefit to what happened yesterday. I just don't. I don't. Thanks for talking, Bhakti and Basher, Jesse. I like your insight. Yeah, I love both those guys. I think they're brilliant. CERN Basher is like one of the greatest data guys. And I love Joe. Joe looks at things from a pretty unique lens sometimes that other people don't. But I think they're coping. I think Tesla Boomer Mama had all the signal. Even though in the interview, she was telling people, I get it if you're exiting Tesla based on all this. But here's the deal. If you're exiting Tesla yesterday based on what happened, that is 100% an emotional response. You should probably not spend any more time on X. You should just buy the fucking stock and walk away. Because what should have been happening yesterday, and if I didn't think I had more asymmetric bets in other places, is you should have been buying yesterday. When Tesla's down 17% and it's had its biggest loss in the history on dollar-related terms, you buy. That's not when you sell. I mean, that's just dumb fucking shit to think that that's when you dump everything. And if you did that yesterday, I'm sorry. That's stupid. And you were being emotional. You should probably come to terms with that. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying it to be truthful because, again, I used to do this stuff too. But after you've been stupid so many times for years, maybe a decade passes, maybe longer for some people, maybe their entire lifetime, you start to realize that it's time to move on and that you should do the opposite of what your emotions tell you to do. Mark Bentley, 100 million, not life-changing? Hell, 5 million is life-changing. Yes, I agree. Dude, I quit my job after I got $375,000 fucking dollars at the start of a pandemic. So if you, and now I'm over 4 million. So if you don't think that $100 million is life-changing, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And then this guy's like, oh, hey, I lost all this money. I'm going to go with my girlfriend and go gambling. What a fucking baller move. You're so cool. You probably watch Andrew Tate all the time on YouTube and think that you're just some badass motherfucker. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, dude. I just hope you don't die because I feel like you're probably going to kill yourself. And I hope you don't from the stupid shit that you're doing. Yeah, dude. All kinds. People are stupid to make a comment, and then there's people like, oh yeah, dude, he's a baller. 100 million doesn't mean anything to James Nguyen. You're right, it doesn't, because money isn't real. That's what he likes to say, right? And money isn't real to him outside of all the debt that he has right now, because he was leveraged to the fucking hilt, and he's in debt for tens of millions of dollars now that he can't repay. Sweet, cool, awesome, exciting. Anyway, I feel like I'm ranting too much. You guys let me know in chat. I sold Tesla puts. Woohoo. That's probably smart, hippie. That's smart, dude. Silas, wisdom takes different times to acquire and even longer to implement. Yeah, it does. It does. Because you can even know the right move for something because you've learned that, but the emotion can strip it all away from you in the heat of the moment. If you don't have strong emotional intelligence, you can just get devastated. Vincent, what's up, brother? Here's my brother from another mother who went to the Bitcoin conference in Vegas. I wish I could have went and seen him. Thank you for welcoming me back from vacation, brother. We're going to make a lot of money off of MetaPlanet. How are we sitting on MetaPlanet right now? Oh, I guess we're only up 18.66% today. So it looks like I'm only up almost $300,000 on one fucking position today. Getting close to $1.8 million on MetaPlanet. That seems pretty awesome. Vincent, among many other people, Chicken Genius and a bunch of others got me into MetaPlanet once I realized what we really had. And so I really appreciate Vincent. He's a great follow. He's been loyal to Tesla for a very long time. He's somebody who looks out over the long term. And he's just a great dude. So Vincent, I appreciate you. I appreciate your $1.99, my friend. You're an awesome guy. Oh, real quickly on Similar too. We were going to talk about that. So I do believe that Similar, I don't think it's MetaPlanet. And it's definitely not MetaPlanet right now, but I do think that it can do well. I do think that, and it might not. I put like $500,000 into it. It might not do well. It's up 3.4% in pre-market, but it was down 8.72%. It had this really big volley. I do want to say something here, though, that since the bottom in March of 23, we're getting higher lows, right? And this could be another higher low that we get right now. I'd love to see us close above the 34.36. But I like this company. I like Natalie Brunell. I like Eric Simler. I think that this stock should still go up. I think that all boats float. So I do believe that this one will come too. And I'm going to keep my money in it. Like I said, I've said this in chat. Maybe I didn't say it here, or I've said it in a post. I'm probably going to take some of the stuff that I had in cash that's been fairly butchered as of recent. Because, again, we rode this. I think I can tell you when we called this. I don't want to say I moved the market on it, but it's possible. We made a video right over here talking about how this thing was going to skyrocket. And then it went from $31 right around that level all the way up to $50 very, very, very quickly because it had just such low volume. Now the volume's fallen off a cliff, and again, but it hit this over here and it went up a lot. Peak volume right here, kind of marking a short-term top. So maybe this grinds for a little bit, but I do think we're headed up, and I'm thinking this thing can go up a lot. That's what I believe. It doesn't have to. And in regard to my positioning in my portfolio, I don't even know. This thing is probably like 7-8% of my portfolio right now because it's had some losses. So it's not like the hugest amount, but I do think it could be a good asymmetric bet. And a lot of my big bets right now, guys, are Bitcoin. It's really what it is. I'll update the portfolio over the weekend, but I believe very strongly in what Bitcoin's going to be able to do. It looks like in pre-market, we've got MetaPlanet almost at the $10 level. Again, we had that big flush out where it went down to 557. This is when I was selling all my Tesla, guys. Right over here, I was selling all my Tesla because I was just like, this is too good to pass up. People who don't understand MetaPlanet are going to miss out. Hippie Hank says, I got into MetaPlanet thanks to you. Thank you for the $5, bro. I'm very happy to hear that. I hope you make a bunch of money off it. This chart looks beautiful. This is a beautiful chart, guys. It's going to be very easy to get back to $16. I actually think it's going to be pretty easy to get up to 22 and beyond because these guys are not stopping. Their estimates of what they were going to do are only increasing, which is why the German market is up almost 19% if you look in the bottom right corner. And I believe that we'll see a very strong move today in the U.S. markets too. So it's going to be, if you guys don't understand MetaPlanet, you need to understand what's happening with the Japanese bond market, and you need to understand the flywheel effect. Let's just pull up Japanese bond yields. Nope, that's China. It's got its own set of problems, but let's go over to Japan. Japanese. Here we go. Okay. So this is just an insane chart. This is an insane chart because, again, these guys went negative yields. You can see this over here. You can see where they went negative in 2016. You can see where they kind of have remained there, right? Like they were in the 0.1s, 0.2% for their yields, and then they went hyper negative again in 2019. And so, but now they're blowing out, and this is problematic, okay? Japan is one of the most indebted major economies on Earth, and their yields are at record levels that haven't been seen since 2010, shortly after the Great Financial Crisis. And they're blowing out. And so Japan is on the brink of collapse. I just want to be clear about that. they're on the brink of collapse. Their prime minister said that they're like Greece. And Greece, if anybody knows Greece, has not had a good time. And so with this kind of stuff, there's no safety in Japan in buying bonds, right? Because the yield's increasing because everybody's selling them except for the government, who owns the majority of their bonds right now, which is insane. And so you can't find safety in bonds. Their stock market's going to underperform. They're going to print because they have no choice in order to be able to sustain themselves and their debt obligations. And the entire world looks like this. This is just the worst case example. And really, China, I would argue, is even worse than this. But they have a closed economy, so they can hide it just a little bit longer. But this is bad, and there's no safety for people in Japan. But there is in MetaPlanet. And soon, there'll be some availability, too, within the bond market for through vehicles provided by MicroStrategy. So that's good, too. But you got to realize people are going to buy this. They're going to buy it en masse, MetaPlanet, and they're going to do it because there's no other choice, and they're going to do it because they're asymmetrically growing their bags. And I'm going to pull up a bunch of charts. I don't have them today because I haven't bookmarked a bunch of stuff, but I'll be pulling up charts probably on Monday, going over this even more, and trying to explain the MetaPlanet flywheel and why we're going to make so much money off of it. SK, Jesse, can you explain what will happen to MetaPlanet if BTC rises significantly? It'll go through the moon. These guys just talked about taking $5.4 billion to buy Bitcoin right now, which is way above what their previous estimates were. And they're doing this at 0% interest. They're doing it with terms that are very beneficial to the company. And they're doing it at a 6x plus NAV. It's so good, guys. It's so good. I don't even know what to say. Like, just imagine this. Imagine your company is valued 6 times what your actual holdings are, and then you're able to leverage the entire market cap of your company to buy Bitcoin after Bitcoin has been consolidating for what I would argue from a trend line that is over 4 years old. And you're getting ready to see Bitcoin break out. And again, so many companies buying treasuries, guys. The numbers are ridiculous. Let me see if I have some of the data over here in its updated form. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I'm going to get rid of ETFs, exchange custodians, DeFi, government, and private companies. This is just what's happening, guys, for public companies. And this looks a little weird because it's so stretched out. If it was shorter, it would actually look much more dramatic. But just even look here. Just look here. So on Saturday, May 31st, that was a week ago, public companies held 782,143 Bitcoin. Today, they hold 815,742. So again, what is that? Over 30,000 Bitcoin purchased by public companies in a fucking week. If you don't understand what Bitcoin's doing right now, and you don't understand how MetaPlanet is going to directly benefit from that asymmetry, I can't help you. Again, figure out other stuff to do. Maybe somebody else should invest your funds for you. Trump is considering getting rid of Tesla. A couple of 12-year-old girls. Yeah, I don't even care. None of that matters. None of that matters. He's going to get rid of his Tesla at the White House. Is that what he's doing? Marquis, Saylor can run ATM on STRD to buy back MSTR if MNAV is below 1. Yes, he even talked about that. He gave you a heads up in his keynote, in his interviews, that this is exactly what he was going to do. If they drop under 1, they can literally force it higher. And the guys, If you think it's a Ponzi scheme, you're just wrong, and you're going to find out the hard way. You're going to find out the hard way. Since Doge was just hobbled, perhaps Elon can go up on BTC. Maybe he will. I mean, it's a great safety, right? And there's a lot of posts about Bitcoin and Elon Musk and Tesla. So maybe he will. Alex says, Jesse, you don't have any Tesla right now. No, I do have some. It's just not a lot. I'll update my portfolio. I have small amounts of Tesla. It's kind of inconsequential. It might be 1% or even less. I don't know. Maybe it's more than that. I haven't honestly looked in a while. But I did sell a shit ton to buy MetaPlanet. And that, judging by the potential $300,000 I'm up just on MetaPlanet today, I think that was the right decision. What do you guys think? in chat. Javi, Jesse, do you think Tesla will go to 200 or 400 first? 400. Roman Z, by the way, MetaPlanet ticker in Euro is DN3, right? Yeah, MetaPlanet's ticker in Germany is DN3, and I actually have something for you guys because a bunch of you were nice enough to give it to me, and I think, I think Marquis is one of them. But this right here, guys, this is a link that shows you the trading hours across markets based on Chicago time, so Central Time, for all of the markets. So it shows you US OTC, right? For MTPLF, that's the over-the-counter trade market in the United States. It shows the availability for trading and that. And then it also shows the FWB, which is the DN3 out of Germany. And it shows the trading hours for Germany. They're a lot broader. And then it shows Japan, and then it shows PTS, which I believe is, I don't know if that's after or pre, but it shows you all those things. So there's a lot there. Real quickly, I need to use the bathroom. Before we go further, I need to use the bathroom. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to try and go back.
Well, that's not been.
I'll try and find you something interesting real quick. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Be right back.
Join us now on the Fed and the latest employment report, which showed a gain of 139,000 jobs. Former St. Louis Fed President, I'm going to call you James Bullard now. I know you like that because that's formal. But then when I talk to you, I'm going to call you Jim. That's going to work. You're now dean. You're dean of the Mitch Daniels School of Business at
Indeed.
Purdue University. We love him too, and he's been a frequent guest.
Yeah.
I can't. I know there's a lot to worry about, Jim, but another decent number here for jobs and inflation. Maybe it's coming, but we haven't seen it yet. Are we in a pretty good place in your view?
We are, and I think this cements the expectations that the Fed would be on hold until September, and then I think at that point they could make a judgment about whether inflation is continuing to come down. I think my former colleague Chris Waller probably has it about right. If inflation continues to come down, which is what happened in the last trade war, then the Fed would be in a good position to probably lower the policy rate a little bit in the fall. But they don't have to do that. And really, when you look overall at...
That's interesting. Actually, we're looking like September is the time to lower rates. Maybe earlier. We'll see. It doesn't really matter, though. I don't think it really matters. I really don't, guys. And let me get rid of this. This is the hyper-liquid James Wynn portfolio. We'll just get that off the screen because that's never going to matter ever again. And yeah, guys, I think MetaPlanet is going to the moon. I think they're getting ready to buy just a shit ton of Bitcoin. And I think your opportunity to buy is still here because, again, MetaPlanet was at 16 not too long ago, and it's only a $5.53 billion company. And they're getting ready to be one of the largest Bitcoin holders on Earth. They're going to be huge. They're going to probably be in the top 3 before the end of the year. That's my take. I think they'll be one of the top 3 publicly traded companies with Bitcoin holdings on this planet. So it is MetaPlanet. These guys rock. Let me see. Mountain Off Grid sold some MSTR for MetaPlanet. In hindsight, should have sold Tesla like you did, but no regrets. Added Tesla hard yesterday. Yeah, yesterday's a good time to add for sure. And again, I would add two to Tesla, guys, because I do think we're in a consolidation. But I just think the asymmetric bet is with Bitcoin. The world needs Bitcoin, and MetaPlanet is a great way to capitalize on that. I still think the Bitcoin miners are going to perform, and I haven't sold any of my contracts there. Maybe a handful a long time ago, but just nothing of consequence whatsoever. And I think Similar could still do good. I think Alt BG or whatever it is, that European one, is going to crush it. They're very aggressive. Does anybody have a chart? Can you tag me, Marquis, or any of you other guys, if you have the chart that shows the aggressive rate of purchasing with Bitcoin for these Bitcoin treasury companies? I don't know if I have that bookmarked right now or can't find it. But if you guys have that on X, tag me, because I'd love to pull that up right now and show it to people. Stop it, brother. I have to disagree. Micro is one of the best. Oh, somebody hates me. Cool, man. Cool. Who's this guy? Oh, he's blocked. Is that why he hates me? Let's check it out. That guy is a clown. It says Ivan the Great. I don't even know who this is. I don't know who this is. Let me see. Who are you? He's got 300 followers. Oh, he's a Palantir guy. He's a Palantir bro. That makes sense. Okay, we'll let that go. All right, but if any of you guys have So again, this is kind of talks to the whole like crazy entrepreneur, hardworking, manic depressive, never sleeps personality that Trump, Elon, and I would argue myself have a little bit of. I'm not nearly as great as those guys, but I am a little bit of an egomaniac too. I don't know, man. Did you call it? Did you call it? Who called it? I think I called it. I think I called it. All right, let's see here. Looking for group, MetaPlanet. We got Mr. Lee. He's a stud. We saw him at Bitcoin Vegas. Interesting to see MetaPlanet down during normal TSE hours, but up in the PTS and German hours. Yeah, I think MetaPlanet reps. I do too, my friend. All right, if anybody has that, great, shoot it over to me. Otherwise, whatever, fuck it. Oh, here we go. Mark, I knew you'd have it. Let me see if this is it. Is this the same one? Yeah, it is. You're a fucking star. All right, cool. Let me bring this over here. Yes. Well, this might not be the exact one, or maybe it is. Let me see. That's the NAV premiums. Okay, cool. And this is the additions. Yeah, no, this is good. Oh, no, that's stock performance. I don't want that one. Let me see. Stock performance. Let me look at charts here. Stock performance, NAV premium. Let me see what else we have in here. NAV premium. Don't care about that. Months to cover MNAV. It's not quite what I'm looking for. Unless it's hidden in somewhere in here. There's one that was showing like the aggressive buying schedule on the chart. It wasn't about stock performance or any of that stuff. I don't know if that's in here somewhere. Go to strategy tracker and click compare. Yeah, this isn't quite, but whatever. I'll find it and I'll post it. But it's beautiful. It shows how aggressive MetaPlanet is, and it shows how aggressive alt BG are in acquiring Bitcoin. And Saylor is on that list too. I don't know if they're just in third or fourth, but they're on that list and they're working hard to grow. Let's look over here though. Let me shorten this up. Can I shorten it? Oh, they don't have the ability to do that. That's annoying. But you can see where the MNAB was really bad for these guys at the beginning of the year, around March, April. It was very, very low, and you can see how it's expanding right now. And I believe it's going to continue to do that because people are focused less on MNAB and more about the accretion that they're receiving from the aggressive purchase schedules on these. Go up and click on the View Detailed dashboard. Where? Down here? Or one of these others. Where's the View Detailed? Up on home, you mean? Comparison dashboard. Oh, okay. Now I think I see what you're talking about. Under these individual ones. Yeah, no, what I was looking at is a comparison between all of them. Purchases over time. Satoshis per share, Bitcoin yield gain. I'll find it. It doesn't matter. Jesse, what's your split between SMLR and MetaPlanet's way bigger. I'll update my charts here soon. I think I have like 300,000 or something maybe on Saylor right now. And I'm probably going to move some of that from stock over to options contracts. Just to be able to multiply on the upside if it does end up turning around. If it goes to zero, whatever. I just don't see that happening with Saylor. I do not. I think it'll all boats float. And that's my experience from every Bitcoin cycle. That's my experience from really every cycle in investing, no matter what it is. All boats float. If you don't believe me, look at quantum stocks for a period of time and see how I think most of them are trash, but they all went up. And genomics was the same way, and weed stocks were the same way, and space is the same way, and every innovative thing that's an asymmetric bet is the same way. The cream of the crop go out to the top first, and then the others follow because everybody's looking for the next one. SMLR options are too expensive. I don't know. I'll look. I don't think they are, but maybe they still are. Let me see. The ones I bought the other day are actually down 38% since I got them. I've got about 27,000 sitting in them. So I don't think they're too expensive. I'll run the numbers again. You guys know how to do that. Go to the free options profit calculator, and then also go to the NASDAQ and look at the options trade, look at the open interest. Again, I made a video about options trading. Just remember, options are tricky because you're literally making it to where you can go to zero if you don't hit price targets. So it's a lot crazier than just investing in a stock. Mountain Off Grid, thoughts on MBIS? Can we look at that chart? Yeah, I haven't really paid much attention. That's Is that Nubius or Nebius or whatever? Let me see. I know that's a popular one from some of the other guys that are out there. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. I don't even know if I have a chart on that one, bro. So I might just have to make one. What do they do again? They're like AI some shit. Can you guys tell me in chat what they do? I don't even remember off the top of my head. I don't focus a lot on like the next big thing that everybody else is chasing. So sometimes I need to be convinced as to what's out there and what the opportunity is, because I hear stuff. People talk about shit all the fucking time. All the time. People are like chasing the next big thing. And I try to focus on like a game plan. So if Nebius is so wonderful, let me know why. What does the chart look like? I mean, it's kind of fucking crazy. It's went up a lot over a short period of time. And I know a bunch of people, Crossroads. I see a bunch of people pumping this one. Couch Investor, all those guys seem to be pumping it. I don't totally know why. I don't know. It's gotten close to its .618 golden retracement zone. It seems like it could go up here pretty quickly. Yeah, it's just all over the place. What's up with this company? Let's look at the actual financials here. We haven't done that in a while. Oh, I better jump out of this real quick and then log in. Just give me a second. All right, so let's look here. What do the actual financials look like for this one? Let's look at MetaPlanet financials real quick. So again, from nothing to a whole bunch of something. I love it. Lots of dilution, but again, they're going to be doing so well. Let's go over here super fast. NBIS. Nebius. All right, so wow, absolutely no revenue since Q4 2023, or I should say minuscule, less than $1 million. Tons of loss, tons of net income, losing pretty good amounts of money, 1.4 million last quarter with less, only 0.7 million revenue. Shares outstanding are going down. I don't know, this is such a weird fucking thing. They obviously crushed a lot of business expense. I don't know what's going on with this company. I don't know who they are. I'm up over 300% on my APLD contracts. It can run a lot higher. Okay, cool. Operates a technology company that engages in building full stack infrastructure and service the global AI. Oh, so it's just this is a speculative AI play. What do their estimates look like? There is really no forward guidance on it. There's really, I mean, it looks like sentiment, analyst, and earnings call sentiment are all super bullish for this one. I don't know if we have all the other metrics on visual stocks, but I don't know. This kind of looks like a clusterfuck. It looks like the company died and now has been brought to life by social media. Top AI investment says seeking alpha. Call traders target soaring AI stock after bull note. Why shares of Nebius Group are soaring this week. Why Nebius Group stock soared high today. Seems like a lot of people chasing this, but I don't know why. Might be a drone company. NVIDIA has a stake. Could we start a Bitcoin time chain and price charting horoscope company to bring women in? See, listen, some of the shit that goes through your mind. I love it. But yeah, I don't know. I know, again, and now couch investors interested in this. There might be a reason for that. I don't know what it is. So maybe I'll spend some time and look at it. I will be looking towards other opportunities as I make a shit ton of money off of Bitcoin related investments, but I don't know if I'm interested right now on what this is, especially with things that are running already. I used to say that about MetaPlanet though too. So I mean, I could be missing out. I could be missing out on an opportunity. It wouldn't be the first time. Ago says one thing about buying MetaPlanet 3350 in Japan is that it's a minimum of 100 unit purchases in Japan will get more and more difficult for retail to get in. Yeah, that's probably true, but then they could just do a stock split, right? So I don't know if that'll be that hard. And have they done one yet? Let's just look. No, that's not Japan. Let's see here. One sec. Let me pull up 3350. And I love this consolidation, guys. When we're looking at 3350 here, the Japanese market, here's what I love. Look at this. We're consolidating above the next fib level before taking off. So I think 2100 is in sight. And what is that as far as an increase here? And this is yen. What is 1,341 yen into US dollars? Can chat tell me? So I think we got a quick 55% move on this bitch. Since I'll be sitting at, 1.8 million today probably, if I'm right. NBIS is a Russian company that moved to the Netherlands. Okay, that's interesting. NVIDIA partnered with them. NVIDIA has so many partners. Can chat look up how many companies NVIDIA has partnered with? And then maybe ask Grok how many of them have been successful in the last couple of years? I'd love to hear it. Oscar stock is the next hymns. Is that Oscar Mayer Wiener? Are we talking about wieners in chat? PayPal, please. I need to exit my Leap options. PayPal. I haven't looked at that one in a while. Probably don't care to, but I will for you, Silas. I don't think PayPal is a good stock. So many other options out there. But yeah, so just look at this. Like, again, what is, can somebody give me the yen amount of how much is this in dollars per share? We do see a split though over here, right? We see a stock split on March 28th of 2025. We see a stock split on July 24 or July 30th of 2024. So would it be weird for this to stock split again? I'd say no. I'd say it's probably pretty likely. Let me look at that shitty company, woke ass PayPal. Now, remember, guys, I exited my options contracts completely right about here on the double top. So I just exited. Once it dropped down, I just got the fuck out. And then it went down even further. It went all the way down to 56, and now it's back up to a whole whopping 73. Still probably lower than where I sold it. So I'm glad I did that because that was February 3rd. So February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, that sucks. So 2,000 would be $13.93. You got to buy 100 of those. So that's $130 and whatever. You know what? $139 a share. So easy for them to do a stock split and fix it, in my opinion. Sawyer, at least 18 partners and likely more have shown significant success. Yeah, how many are there? Let's see how many partners are there for NVIDIA. Oh. Has. Let's see what we got here. See what Grok has to say. 396. So just to be clear, there's 369. Says has had 369 partners over the last year as reported by Partner Base, with 195 being technology partners and 174 being channel partners. So I'm assuming this is a technology partner. But let's just do the math here again, guys. So you told me that who said it here? So somebody said like there's 18 partners that have done well or something like that out of 369. Yay. So maybe being a partner doesn't actually mean anything. That's what I'm trying to say. This used to happen in the crypto world too, and I got so tired. People are like, oh my God, blah, 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 just partnered with, or they partnered and they're on the Amazon Web Services portal. It's like, guys, anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. And there's like others like that where it's like, oh guys, we become a partner. And you use that for like marketing, but it usually means jack shit. Now, does it mean something in this case? I don't know. I don't know enough about this. But I'm just saying, incorporate critical thinking skills when you're talking about this stuff, because partnerships are a dime a dozen and usually bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's the marketing department. Vincent, what up, buddy? He said just a little bit ago, I said this last year, only 1% of the people understand Bitcoin. Only 1% of the Bitcoiners understand MicroStrategy. And now I'm saying this, only 1% of the MicroStrategy investors understand MetaPlanet. That's fair. It's probably more than 1%, but it still makes a really great point. Chicken genius. Holy what the fuck. How did they get away with this? First moving strike warrant ever issued above market. higher. MetaPlanet. I agree. Yep, I agree. And it looks like Vincent's going to pay for Chicken Genius's dinner. I like Chicken Genius. He's crazy, but so am I. BGZ, I want to know how much sleep Vincent gets. It can't be much, right? I'd say Chicken Genius, Vincent, and me probably all somewhat aligned, even though Vincent, I would say, is way more humble than me. Chicken Genius is more of an asshole like me. He gets in fights with people. He's impulsive. He's got all of the bad traits that I like to have. So, yeah, I'd say he's more like me. Vincent is definitely the cooler head out of us. You guys are the good kind of crazy. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. Yeah, so anyway, I think, I don't know if I'm going to go much further today. We got about 12 minutes until the market open. Let's look at pre-market. You could see in pre-market, the stock market heat map yesterday, that Tesla was just devastated. By far the worst out of the Mag 7. Let's look this morning at pre-market and see how we're doing. And today, Tesla is up the most, but again, it's got a ways to go, but I think it's going to be good. Any other news, guys, that's happened overnight or this morning that you guys want to talk about? Any thoughts on United Healthcare under 300? I don't know enough about the healthcare space to tell you about United Healthcare. I know that United Healthcare is very, very oversold when I looked at it, but I also don't know if anybody's going to assassinate their new CEO. I don't know, man. It's just what is that? What is the ticker to UNH? I probably better save one here. I need to add some of these to Discord. I don't even have MetaPlanet in Discord. I'm going to work on that today, guys, at some point. Oh, I just did the same thing. Let me make a copy here. I need to get some of these stocks in the Discord. I've been too lazy on that, and I need to fix that. So that's Nebius. Let's do UNH. Let's see how bad this is. Do you still have any? No, I sold that a while ago, guys. I sold that a while ago because to go into MetaPlanet. I post all my trades on Discord, and you could see all that stuff on there. And you could see me stacking MetaPlanet like a madman. Even said I sold some of my SMLR to buy MetaPlanet down 30% on the day. So again, I was liquidating a little bit on 523 to buy MetaPlanet, and then I bought more MetaPlanet, and I sold Tesla to buy MetaPlanet. And I sold more Tesla to buy MetaPlanet. It was really about MetaPlanet for a while there. But yeah, I need to update that. I need to update Discord and get a few more extra charts in there. United Healthcare looks painful. I know a lot of people bought the dip. It did dip. Wow, did it dip? So let's go back. This is the way back chart. So here's a good way to look. We'll do a fib-based retracement. So we're going to look at the last major low from the 2007, 2008 great financial crisis. Here's what I like. This is actually, so I don't even know this company, guys, but we always talk about the .618 golden retracement zone. This is probably one of the best examples I've seen in a while. Soul Strategies kind of suck. We can talk about that in a second too. I haven't even looked at that one a lot lately, and I don't even have a lot in it. It's less than 100K, but which is not a lot. But if you look over here, look at this, the golden retracement zone, previous volumes, perfect bounce. The thing is, I don't know how long it's going to stay here, but I'd say your downside risk is pretty low on United Healthcare right now. They've done nothing. They issued dividends. If you're really into safety, they issue dividends, and their earnings are almost always a beat outside of this last one here that got crushed. And again, it could just be a lot of negativity around this company. But I don't know if this is the bounce zone. But I don't care enough, I don't think. What is the upside on this? 295 to 640. So it could double your money. I don't give a shit about that. If you want to join the Discord, you can do that by just going to the top of my profile, guys. I have everything that you can sign up for is right here. So don't go to other places that are scary. If you just look under my portfolio balance section, down at the bottom, it shows, and I got to fix this. I didn't correct it, but it shows how you can join the Discord. It shows how you can subscribe on YouTube. It shows referral links. So all that stuff is on here. So if you want to find real things from me and not some guy who's trying to scam you out of your money, check my profile. That's the way to go. And I need to update the Discord. Again, I've got a bunch. So I've got all of my trades are listed in there. So if you want historical, you can get that. All of my portfolio allocations over time are listed in that. And then we have a bunch of different channels for different charts and things. Some of these, again, people are still, they have conversation even when I'm not involved. So things are happening. Oh, and you guys made a MetaPlanet without me? That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. See, you guys don't even need me. You guys don't even need me. I probably do need. Do we have a chart in there too? Did you guys add that already? You've got some stuff, so I probably need to add to this. I probably need to add to it because you guys are doing it without me. So thank you very much, Discord community, for doing all the good stuff, even though I'm not there as much. C-list. Does anybody have an individually purchased United Healthcare plan? Are they good? I don't know anything about it. So anyway, we got about 7 minutes until market open. I think it's going to be a good day. I don't think it can get much worse than yesterday, at least in regard to the big, beautiful bill conversation, Elon Musk or Donald Trump. Maybe they'll fight it out a little more today. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. The more they do, the less impact it will have. And Soul Strategies, I don't know. Is there a good tracker for Soul Strategies, guys? Again, I've got money in this one. It's went up. It's went down. It's still up. So even right now, it looks like it got the life sucked out of it yesterday. It's still up 81% from where it was in April. So I would say that it's still a win. But it was doing real good over here, up 200% at the top of May 25th. So again, this thing's done all right. It's still up, but I'm down 6.6% from where I bought it. So, so whatever, it's taken a tumble. I just don't know enough about this one to know. I don't know if James Invest Answers is talking about it. I probably need to look it up. I think $30 MetaPlanet might be pretty easy. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it's easy. Yeah, see, we're up 14% on the day. We're up above 1050 now on MetaPlanet. We're up here. I think 16 is going to be easy. Or this level up here around 17 is going to be easy. I think it's going to be pretty easy to get to 23. I think that this cycle is guaranteed pretty much to get to 34. I think 34 is probably low. And I think that we can go to 55, honestly. People might not believe that, but I think for this cycle, I think we could get to 55 on MetaPlanet just because they're being so aggressive. And by that, I mean, I believe that there's going to be somewhat of a top and a retracement. But that doesn't have to happen either. But I think there's some easy money to be made off of MetaPlanet. 423% might not be enough depending upon. This is the banana zone here, guys. The banana zone is between 55 and 226. I don't know if I'll be around still for that part, or I might reduce my consumption quite a bit around that part. Because if I go up 400% from $1.8 million, let's just put it this way. I'm no James Wynn. Sawyer, I want to see Elon versus Trump UFC fight. Oh, God, there used to be an MTV thing for all the really old people. You guys know what I'm talking about. There used to be a claymation fight thing where all the like major stars would fight each other, and in claymation they would do this in a ring. It was pretty great. They should do something like that. Add more today or wait for a pullback. What are we talking about? MetaPlanet? Ugh, I would have bought yesterday. You could buy today, though, because, again, I think we're going up. It's just it would have been a lot better yesterday, right? Celebrity Deathmatch. Thank you. I forgot the name. Appreciate that. Thanks, Amit. Hood going to get into the S&P? I think so. And, guys, also, MicroStrategy, it has major dates in front of it. Imagine what their earnings are going to look like. They're going to send all of the Bitcoin treasuries higher. They're going to send the big miners higher, like Mara, CleanSpark. All that stuff is going to go up when MicroStrategy reports amazing fucking earnings in this next quarter. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. And I think people are going to catch on eventually. You want to be ahead of that. That's my best advice. Be ahead of it. I think, guys, though, today, I might call it here. Maybe jump over to Amit for his morning stream. Am I bullish on Saylor and MicroStrategy? Yes, but I think they're going to take a back seat. And actually, yesterday, let's look at some of this, guys. Yesterday with MicroStrategy, let's look at this real quick before we hop. So yesterday, it got flushed out hard, but strategy was going up. I mean, it was up to 389, and then it just got crushed because of all the stuff that was going on. It wasn't the only thing, though. Strike and Strife have had massive amounts of people piling into it. Yesterday, I think some people that were doing the dividend play took advantage of that. So this is the kind of stuff you have to think about with Strike and Strife, is when people think we've hit a bottom, on markets, like maybe these same people are investors in, again, Bitcoin miners. Maybe they're investors in MicroStrategy, which got hit pretty good. Maybe they're investors in any of these others. MetaPlanet didn't really get hit. Saylor was down, 10% or something at one point yesterday. But they sold, right? They made wicked gains. If you look here, this is Strike is an 8% dividend, an 8% dividend, and it has went up. The price of this thing went up to 36% from its low in April 10th. So people love their divvies, right? But if you think you've bottomed in the market and you've made 36% in returns on something that pays you an 8% dividend, you're going to sell that shit. So here's my thesis. I think Strike and Strife will do really well in the bear as people or maybe heading into the bear. It all depends on timing, right? But if people think that they've reached a top, they're going to just pile into Strike and Strife. And then you'll have moments like this where they dump it hard. And then people who want a good dividend return will buy that shit, just like they're doing here, where it's up 2.68% because it dropped 5.36 yesterday, actually over 6% yesterday. They'll buy that because they're like, dude, an 8% guaranteed dividend, or like with Strife, again, in that one, they've got a even higher. I don't know why all of these are reset, but they got a 10% dividend. It looks very similar to this too. And so you're going to see people, oh, you hear it. You know what? I'll just switch this one because I do have a Strife anyway, or a Strike anyway. And I think I was updating this one. So again, this thing got butchered yesterday, right? Look at this. We were at 108.44 and we dropped down to under 100. It closed at 100 even, and now we're up 4% on the day. This is a 10% annual dividend from a stock where you're basically guaranteed your money in this motherfucker for Strife. It is great. It is the best retail returning bond I think you can get. Way better than what the U.S. government can do. I'm sorry, Jesse. I see Strife at 150 and of the end of the cut. Oh, as far as its total value? What do you mean? End of the what? What do you mean by end of the cut? Sorry, if you could just clarify. But I could see this thing going up. I could see this thing going up a lot. And then I think when we reach points where people think we've bottomed and it's time to put their dividend play to work, I think that's when you see this thing really get sucked out. Unless everybody front runs it and this bitch rises a lot, like when we hit 140,000 on Bitcoin, everybody dumps into this thing, then it could see some pain and a drop. So you just got to watch it. But this is a great flush out. The amount of volume we saw, guys, on the daily, it was just absolutely beautiful. Just like it marked a top over here because of the volume spike, and then it went down, and then we just slowly built up volume. This right here, to me, marks a beautiful bottom on the volume profile. Ding, 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 ding. All right, let's do the ding, 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 ding. And then I'll probably bail a little bit after that. We'll just see how the market opens. So 1 second here. Let me go to live. We'll go back a sec.
System is not a good one. You need more help. Yep. And by the way, one of the things that with Medicare, yeah, I'm a private payer. Medicare does not do everything you'd like.
Look at that, guys. Pre-market, 5% on Tesla.
Switching from a private plan that you have for a company to Medicare is really eye-opening and something that you regret. Yeah. But there's nothing you can do because you paid for it.
Just pretend like you heard the bell.
This morning.
Just pretend like you ding, 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 ding.
Really delved into anything.
All right, let's just close that. Let's look at the heat map here. So this could be a little bit delayed. Actually, Tesla's up almost 6% now, guys. Again, that was the bottom. That was an easy buy for anybody who wanted to get in. Solana's up 5% on the day. We got Bitcoin up 104,000. We got German MetaPlanet up 18% on the day. We've got SMCI up 3% on the day. We got Palantir up 2.83%. It got hit pretty hard yesterday. We got Hood up 2%, SoFi up 2.9%, Similar up 2%. Again, just underperforming. Iron up 2.3%. Mara up 2%. We get like a decent start to the day here, I think, today. It's not looking bad. Let me look over at MetaPlanet here, see how we're doing. Up 17.3%. Sadly, that is probably only $280,000 in gains for me today. So could be better. Could be better. But yeah, I don't know. This looks like a pretty good day, guys. I think we're going to make a lot of money. A lot of money in the weeks and months ahead. Again, look at that chart under here, guys. Look at that chart. Look at that tweezer bottom on Bitcoin's price action. This is exactly what I wanted to see. I think we're headed higher on it. MetaPlanet, it looks like, was all the way up to 1128 already today. You could tell the volume is going to be a lot of fun. So how much were we up at one point already today? We were up almost 20%. So just like I called it, almost 20% on the day today. And it's retracing a little bit. That's fine. This thing's going to be volatile, but I think it's going to close really well. As long as we get Elon and Trump not fighting for a minute, we're going to have a really good day. Really good day. So again, I think this is opportunity, guys. I think this is opportunity to buy into MetaPlanet at a good price. If this gap closes, if for some reason we get down to like $9 or right near $10, that would be an amazing buying opportunity. I don't know that I'd wait that long personally, even though this thing is volatile and crazy. If you're not in, I would get in soon because I probably won't be telling people that. I won't be telling people to get in at $23. Probably won't. I definitely won't be at 34 because, again, you're just going to have less opportunity. Right now, I think you have 410% upside. If we get up to $22, it's going to be 141%. And if we get up to 34, I'm going to say that you have 60% or maybe 100%. And that's just not an asymmetric bet anymore, right? So anyway, Meta's over 700. Great. Gino says Trump apparently said he's not particularly interested in talking to Elon. Yeah, I heard that. I don't think any of that matters. BTC to 120 to juice markets. Yeah, so real quickly, we're going to pull Bitcoin over here. Or actually, I'll just pull it up on this chart, and then I'll probably bail after that. Let me go back here real quick. 1 second. We got some predictions. Let me just go back here. Oh, wrong chart. Let me go over here. So I'm just going to go to the predictions section. And just, again, show you what I think of Bitcoin. So I don't even know if I pulled this one up. But you can see over here we had our downward trend. We didn't even make it to it. We bounced actually off the 50 moving average and the second fib line here. Beautiful place to bounce. Sitting at 104.64 right now. What I said here is, okay, so we bounced off this downward trend. We didn't even hit it. We had this fib line. We had this 50 moving average in purple. This is the bottom. We got a tweezer bottom here. I think we're headed up higher. I think we're going to get around the 110,000 range. The ultimate boss is going to be around 113 to 115. We want to get above this line, turn it into support, and then launch up to the 121,000 golden retracement zone. Might take a pause there. Might just end up ripping to 140. It all depends on what happens in the background. But I believe that, yes, we're very much headed to 120K. If you wanted to lighten the load just a smidge, you could do it right around there. I would not lighten too much before that. And personally, I would be waiting for the 140s to remove a decent amount of leverage. Hey, have an eye on a UME stock? I don't even know what that is. UAMY. I don't know what that is, bro. I'd pay to see that C-list. What did C-list say? Look at Elon and Trump padded sell together for 72 hours. I think Elon would win, even though he has had some physical issues up over time. It's up 14%. That's cool. I don't know what it is, though, so I can't really speak to it too much. Trump would not have won the popular vote without Elon and Twitter. I agree. I 100% agree. He wouldn't have. He should be grateful. He shouldn't be a dick. I think that's very true. But I also think he's doing good things right now. Maybe he won't be the best person for president. First off, he shouldn't get a third term. Secondly, I'm kind of tired of Republicans and Democrats. I think there's way too many people just collecting paychecks and corrupt as fuck in government. And I think we need more people like Elon Musk in government. I don't think he needs to be in government, but I do think that we need people like him that genuinely care about the future of this country and are working to make it better. I think Scott Besson is that, even though Elon and him have had fights with each other. That's raw material stock. Okay, all right, that explains a lot. Elon could beat Trump behind. Oh yeah, Trump's too old. He would just tip him over. Not that Elon is a badass. Guys, let's talk about Bitcoin miners super fast here. Again, I told you that I think they're consolidating in a big way, right? That's what's happening. That is what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mara in a week over the 200 moving average. in the $17 range, and maybe, yeah, right around here. And once it gets up to here, guys, tell me this isn't a cup and handle. Tell me this isn't a cup and handle, okay? Let's just look at this real quick here and do the move. We're going to call it right there, and then we're going to put it up over here for our breakout zone. And the cup and handle will literally get us, guys. The cup and handle alone on Mara will get us up to the $27 range. If you wanted to lighten the load, that would be the place to do it, is around $27. But again, that's also looking at a trend line that we broke above way back over here. This is 2021. A lot of dilution in the stock since that time. But this trend line goes back to April, or right around the end of March 2021, the previous top. And again, this company, it's a $5.52 billion valuation. I don't even know. Let me check something real quick. Market cap for Mara over time. I don't know if I'll be able to look this up or not. Y charts, these guys might have me blocked out. I've been meaning to like pay for this, but I think it's really expensive. Let me see if there's another one that shows macro trends used to do that. Let me see if this one, okay, good. So this is the market cap over time. And so again, you got to realize there's been a lot of dilution. So that time in 2021, this was really only a $7.54 billion stock. So that's a 50% increase from where we're at. But this thing's been as high as almost $8 billion. There is no reason why it shouldn't be that again. Their Bitcoin holdings have went up exponentially, and that is getting ready to turn around and look really good. They're also mining a lot of Bitcoin. So I think that this thing can go up a decent amount. Again, if you look over here, let's look at Bitcoin holdings. Look at this. So this is where the stock was. They had 8,100 Bitcoin in 2021 when this thing was close to $8 billion. Today they have 107,000. It's saying Bitcoin. Is that Bitcoin? Is that actual Bitcoin? That's not right? Aren't they in the 50s? I feel like something's broken here. Let me see quarterly. That's better. I don't know what was on that other chart. The yearly was weird, or maybe I was looking at it wrong. But again, so we were down here, and now we're up here. So I think this company, even though, expenses are high because of dilution and all this other stuff, the cash flow isn't great right now. It's going to get a lot better over this next quarter. Their debt is not that bad. It's over very long periods of time where Bitcoin's going to be a much higher price in the next cycle. So I think these things can run. I think you can easily double on Mara. I think you could get a 200% on Mara, and I'll make a lot of money off of that, guys. I genuinely believe, I think it's going to be too easy for me to get to $10 million this year, $10 to $12 million. That's my goal. I think that the chance of me getting to 20 is probably 60%, maybe 70% at getting to 20 million. And I can tell you what, I will treat 20 million very, very well, because this is where we started. Now I'm here. And I want to be here, and I might be a lot higher than that. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to take a breather. We're rocking and rolling today. Hopefully you didn't sell out like a little bitch yesterday. Lots of stuff going up. I love you guys. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Go out and touch grass and enjoy your life. If you're not taking time to enjoy your life, it'll pass you by. So peace out. I'll see you guys later. Talk to you on Monday, or see you on X.